Hello, I'm Jenna Bosiger, and this is Cryptid Cryptids. Back in the summer of 2016, I went to the Santa Rosa Mountains a few different times and had some interesting things happen. The road up to Santa Rosa Mountain is, you don't need a four-wheel drive, but you need a truck of some kind. I took my car part of the way up it, and maybe it was just the road was bad, but I did not make it very far. So when we had an opportunity to go up there, we did. It was in the summer and it was so hot. It was so hot. So we went up there to get out of the heat. And I had planned out to look for, there's a garnet mine up there, an abandoned garnet mine. And I wanted to look for garnets. And so we were going to go off exploring, looking for garnets in up Santa Rosa Mountain. So, it got really thick shrubbery and it was very easy to get through the bushes and stuff. So we tried to do that for a little while, but it was really pretty hot still. And then on the way out, I always take orb pictures. And usually, I mean, if you think of how many orb pictures I've taken, I would used to actually go out on orb photo shoots in Bautista Canyon. And a lot of orbs, obviously, they're just dust. And some orbs are, they act weird. They're strange. So I will say that. Now, this is one of the, I don't even think it was an orb. I think it was a UFO. And it's shaped like Saturn. And I took it in the late evening with my flash. It was pretty much dark because my flash I don't even have an automatic flash, which really sucks. But anyways, I took the picture with my flash, when it was pretty much dark outside already. And we were walking back to the truck. And I didn't realize it at the time that I had gotten this picture because, you kind of have to zoom in on it a little bit to notice it. And I was really excited when I saw the picture because it looks just like your typical little UFO, Saturn. It's really cool looking. And so there you go. Okay, so the next time we went up there, I didn't get any UFO pictures, but we were coming back down, and then my husband pulls over, and I was like, "Why did you pull over?" And he said that he pulled over so that I could get out and look for prints in this. There was this monsoon puddle. And I was like, oh my God, I can't. That is so sweet that he would, think of me like that, a puddle, so I could look for prints, because that's like what I love to do. So I went to look for prints. And of course, what did I find? Some big footprints or some big footprints. And so I was so excited and I took a lot of pictures. And then I had to wait for an entire week to go back. And I went back with my casting materials and I was only able to cast 3 of them. And it's always such a bummer. It's hard to decide which prints to cast. And I definitely think I'm not, well, anyways, these are the ones I have. So we can talk more about casting prints later, but I just want to show you the prints that I got up there in Santa Rosa Mountains. This was like, 3 weeks. First was the UFO, then it was the prints, and then it went back to cast them. And I'm sure there was a few times between there when nothing happened. And then this last time that I went, it was really beautiful. There was a lot of signs of fire. But anyways, also I want to say that at this place where I got these Bigfoot prints, I looked for more prints and found what I think is a bear print. So that's exciting. And then Timber ran through all of the possible other evidence. I had to block her just to keep her from running through this bear print before I was done photographing it. But that's sort of like what Timber does. All right, so let's look at these prints I got. They're not huge, but they're weird. There are the casts that I made. They look like they were all made with the same foot, like the same creature. But there might have been some smaller prints there at the site. I didn't do a really super thorough investigation, but it looks like all the feet print are about around 13 inches. So these are the casts from the Santa Rosa Mountain in the puddle, a monsoon puddle. And I went back there and actually found a bear print too. So it's not a place you'd expect to find barefoot prints. And the reason we pulled over was to actually look for prints in the mud. But because I waited so long, I went back a week later, so you can't really see any dermal ridges or anything like that in them. And they're not excessively big. They all seem to be about 13 feet. This one was, toe is right there, I think, or this big toe right here. So yes, by the same creature or person or whatever. Get some up close look at them. I always try to look for on the outer edges any signs of hair prints or pieces of hair. But these just sat for a whole week and lost a lot of detail. And I learned not to, if you have a choice, make sure not to do it in the sandy part, because or the gravelly sandy part. That's not going to give good results. You want to do it in the nice, muddy, gooeyest part. It's where you want to make a print at. Seems like the best detail is on this first one here, not this one, but this one maybe. It's best detail, but yet not that good. I'll get out my prints, my casts I made in Hemet, but they're not this big, but they have really good detail to them. Like a bump. You can see the toes. Well, those are them. So those are the unusual things that have happened to me up on Santa Rosa Mountain. And besides that, it was very beautiful every time I went. The sunsets and the mountains, and just being way up there. It's pretty isolated and remote. And on the way up there from Palm Springs, it's a very treacherous road, really tight and narrow and windy. And I never get a chance to look out the window at the mountains and the rocks. It's very rocky, but there are some very strange rocks and mountainous rocks on the way towards the mountain from Palm Springs. And then I did wanted to post some of the most unusual rocks I found up there. This one, obviously, recently probably somebody put an eyeball there, but it's like, looks like a big snake coming out there. I don't know if it was accidentally put there or what, but it's pretty strange. And it's got a face on both sides of, looks like a snake. And there's interesting moss growing on the rocks that's really blue and red. And then this one rock is right above it, and it's so huge. It's like cement, and it's got some strange indentations on it. But I mean, the size of the rock, I really should have had someone there for scale, but it's just like a very strange shaped, massive rock with strange indentations on it that I thought was worth posting and photographing. And then this one, in the distance, I was able to see this strange giant face that looks kind of like, so I zoomed in on it, and it just looks all kind of Picasso-y and jumbled and squished and broken and aged. And one of these little guys looking up, zoomed in on it. It's just a strange shaped rock. And then on the way down, who knows? There's just this hole that I noticed. I don't know why it's there, who made it, how old it is, but it looks man-made.